Hi, friends. You're tuned into Honestly Friends podcast with Day and Lee, where we talk about life, love, friendships, and the culture. What up, Lee?
Not much, Day. What's going on?
I'm here just kicking it, just chilling, enjoying the day. What about you?
Nothing. Same thing. Thinking about maybe going to the beach, but apparently the sharks are out there in the water in South Florida. So
Yeah, like what's
if I
going
do go,
on?
I'm gonna bring a book because apparently
And
the
beyond the
the, the
sand.
sharks are saying no. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just make it a reading day in the shade somewhere and give me a margarita. But anyway, so I guess what I wanted to talk today about is ghosting. You know that term? Are you familiar with that term, ghosting?
Like when you have ghosts in your house? No.
No.
Because we could talk about that. I do be having ghosts in
That's
my
a
house.
different ghosting. Yeah, we talked about that. We like ghosts over here as long as they're friendly. Well, mine
Yeah.
do.
Don't be slamming
Let
no
me look
doors. You
up
don't
the
pay no
dictionary
bills.
term. We're gonna look it up in the dictionary
Okay.
if they have one. Ghosting
Like an
behavior. What
urban
is the term of
dictionary.
ghosting? Yeah, it's got to be urban. Okay, here we
Let's
go.
see.
Ghosting. Urban Dictionary. When a person cuts off all communication with their friends or the person they're dating with zero warning or notice beforehand, you'll mostly see them avoiding friends' phone calls, social media, and avoiding them in public. For
Mm.
context, I haven't
Mm.
seen Tom in 3 months. I think he may be ghosting me. Mm-hmm. So have you experienced that before?
I have, yes, like, it's complicated. I've experienced
Mm-hmm.
ghosting in friendships. I have a friend, had a friend, don't know how to term it because they be ghosting, right? That would ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Like there would be periods of
Mm-hmm.
time where I would not hear from this person. Like I would like reach out and it's like calls was going to voicemail, text messages not being answered. But this particular person would kind
Mm-hmm.
of ghost and then pop back up, like, "Hey girl, what's going on? Let's do this, that, and the other." So it was weird. I've not experienced it in dating, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
have any context for that. What about you? Have you experienced ghosting?
Yes, kinda. I had a friend ghost me before, but I think I had pissed her off and she was just like done with me. She's not like once you're done when she's ready to let you go, she just disconnects you from her whole life. So I understood why.
Oh,
Uh so I wasn't surprised, but I've never had someone just like ghost me and I thought we were cool. No. And the reason why I want to talk about it is when I was looking into it, I was like, I think I was doing this before this was a term. And it's not something that I'm proud of. But I was like, oh, based on that, like when people are saying their experience, I'm like, so that person just stopped talking to you.
mm.
Uh was it if it was something that you were at fault for, like it was a consequence of something you did, that's more so where I lie. But just to ghost somebody and they haven't done anything, I don't think I've done that. No.
Yeah. Um, no, I've never done that. To my knowledge, I erase things from my mind if I do something negative, so I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
But to my knowledge, no, like weirdly enough, even though I feel like I don't always communicate my feelings, I
Mm-hmm.
tend to value the relationships that I cultivate with people, especially if they're close. Like now, obviously, if you're maybe like a friend that's like not like an associate friend and it's like we just drift apart, like I think that's also different. To me, ghosting is a little bit more of a thing you do with someone that's more intimate, like your really close friends, like a best friend or really close friend, like somebody that you talk to all the time, or
Mm-hmm.
hang out with, a lot, and then you one day it's cold turkey. Because if it's like more so someone that like I don't know, you had a class with or a coworker that like you saw them here and there, but you weren't like tight, like y'all didn't hang out, and then one day it's like, oh shoot, I haven't heard from
So
Jane
and so.
in years. Like if you I feel like if you're sitting there like months down the line, like, dang, I haven't heard from such and such, I don't think that's ghosting. Because I feel like ghosting is like you feel it immediately. Like you're just like, I tried to call this person and they never called me back. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've not done it.
Okay, I got you. You mentioned something about like kind of expressing feelings and communication. And when I think about like when I have been the offender, I argue that some people could say that, oh, you're not communicating with me, but it's just like, I know I need work on this, but I'm just like, why am I communicating to you when you're doing the thing that's wrong? It kills me
Mhm.
when people who do the thing that is wrong want you to talk to them about the thing that they did wrong. Why do I have to do that? Can you answer that for me? You did
Can
it wrong.
I
You did something to me.
can I
No,
answer
because
that for you?
can you see where I'm coming from? Because as someone who can be guilty of ghosting people, but again, it's not the one where like we're good, but it's like I feel like I'm not being treated the right way. If you don't care enough to treat me the right way, I don't care enough to let you know that I'm about to be out. I'm just gonna be out. But some people are like, well, why didn't you tell me? And I'm just like, because people know what they're doing. And then they still think that I have to talk to you and have a conversation. I don't have to do that.
So my kind of answer to that, I think it depends.
No.
I think
Mm-hmm.
no, that's not um
Mm.
I think it depends because I feel like depending on how big the situation was that happened, then yes, someone you may know that you did something wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
think people have varying degrees of what we think disrespect is. And what may be true for me may not be true for you. For instance, actually, as we're talking about ghosting, this isn't necessarily ghosting, but I abhor when people ignore me. Like, I find it to be offensive. And for me, ignoring could be something that you don't think you're doing necessarily, right? So, like, let's say I call you, you're busy, that's fine, that's cool. In my mind, if I reach out to someone, like I call you or I text you something, in my mind, I feel like the turnaround time on that should not be no longer than 24 hours. Some people don't
Right.
think that, right? So to me, that could be, and if I'm a ghoster, that could be something where I'm like, that's the end of that. And the whole time you're like, what? Like, I'm not really a phone person. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I was going to call you. Let's say I call you on a Sunday. Today's Sunday. Let's say I call you on a Sunday and you're like, well, I was probably going to reach out to you on Wednesday, but Wednesday is too late for me. Right. So I think there are varying degrees to disrespect, and it depends on who you're talking to and what they think is disrespect. So it depends. Like, if it's obviously something major, like what's something major that can happen? Like in a friendship relationship, like let's say it's a relationship and my man cheats on me and I know it, he knows it, and I just cut him off. Yeah, I could say then to your point, like, what's the point of me talking to you about this? You know you cheated on me, XYZ. But let's say it's something else that, I don't know, it's more minor, but I still react that way. Then yeah, he might be like, you could have communicated that to me. Like, you didn't let me know. Like, you think this is common sense to me, but it's not. I didn't realize that this would have a impact to where you're like, this is the end of the relationship. It could be something like someone, like, I don't know, maybe someone can take disrespect as like, he never opened the door for me. Like, and I've never had, like, my dad says, like, if a man don't open the door for you, run. And this man is looking like, I mean, I don't know. That wasn't a thing. You could have just said that to me and then I could have corrected that behavior, but you ran. You know what I mean? So I think it's varying degrees. Like, so for me, I don't mind the communication aspect to just say, well, you did this behavior and I didn't like it. And this is why this is a consequence of that. Or maybe I explain it and they're like, oh, wow, I didn't see it like that. And now I'm like, oh, okay. So something that I think is big is small to you, but now that I'm explaining it to you, we can check to see if you correct your behavior when it comes to me and when it comes to this. So I don't know. Like, I literally think it just depends.
Those just depend answers are annoying, but
But
you're right.
it's
I
because
agree
life
with
is
you.
not
It
black
just
and
depends.
white. It's
Mm-hmm.
so gray. It's so gray. Like, obviously big offenses. You sleep with your, I don't know, sister or best friend's husband or something like that. Yeah, you getting cut off.
Or you stole my money, or
Right. You
Yeah.
stole my
Certain
car.
things like
Like,
that.
yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, hello, I shouldn't have to talk to you about that. I shouldn't have to explain that. But if it's just like,
Or yeah, you have a substance abuse problem or you're gambling, like certain things like that.
right. But if it's like, and even I would say, even like with stole your money, if I stole $1,000, let's say reasonable. Let's
Hmm.
say I picked up $100. You're like, you stole my money. I'm not good with that. But what if it's $5? Like, that might be something where you're like, hey, don't do that. If you want $5 from me, please come and talk to me. But is that actually cut off worthy if it's $5? What do you think? Do you think that's cut off worthy?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. Because if you steal it, why are you stealing?
well, I mean, that's the bigger question. But maybe they're like, oh, well, the $5 was on the table and I didn't think you would mind, or I was going to replace it. Granted, it is stealing. I'll be like, don't do that. Please don't do that. If you do that again, that's it. But a $5 might be worth the conversation. $500 likely will not. You know what I mean? Because $500,
That's
like,
true.
ain't no way you thought this was gonna fly. But $5, I could see someone thinking that's gonna fly.
Mm. I mean, I guess, yeah, some people, and then just because if you let someone know that that $5 that you took for whatever reason, like that can't keep happening. If that person cares, like, okay, I can't do that. But then you question, like, but stealing is like just it's funny that you bring that up because that just makes me think like, if you steal little things, will
Could
you
you?
steal big things?
And the answer could be no. Maybe they look at $5 as like, this is inconsequential, but I would never take more than 20. You know what I mean? And then for someone that they might be, even if it's $1, like the answer is no. And somebody else might be like, $5? Why would you even come to me and ask me about $5? Yeah, you can have it. Because it's all a matter of perspective and what you value.
Yeah. And I've been told that I kind of let things go quick. And as I've gotten older, I realized that I could be more mature about certain things like that. So I'm more cognizant of that. And that has led me to be a better communicator of like the things that like bother me in certain things. And that has saved a bunch of relationships, I feel like. Yeah. Cause it's like, so ghosting to me is representative of immaturity. Like,
Yeah,
why are you doing that?
I would
Like, and I
agree.
did that a lot. Not a lot, because usually the people that I have ghosted, not I feel like the people I ghosted were the offenders. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna remove myself from the situation. But I realized like I could have still done that, but told them like I'm about to remove myself from the situation. This is why. So you're not like confused. You shouldn't be confused because you know what you're doing. But now I think there should be a conversation beforehand, even if I'm still gonna do it. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not with that. Bye. Instead of just doing it. So when I see that, I'm just like, oh, the kids are doing this. Oh, let me tell these kids, don't do that. Do not do that. Do not be like me. It can be done better. And I remember like with my boyfriend, we were talking about that, and he was just like, what are some things that maybe aren't your best features? Like could you improve on? And I told him like I kind of like when I'm mad at people, I kind of just let it go. And I don't really communicate. And I know that's bad and I need to do better. And he was like, that's not going to work. You can't do that. And I was like, you're right.
And
And I had to commit to doing that. And it's only fair. It's only fair. But he's met me at a lot older than a lot of people. So I don't know if I would have necessarily be at that 10 years ago. I'm like, all right, in one ear, out the other, I'm going to still do what I'm going to do.
And for me,
because it's not my loss when I ghost people. I really feel like that.
And I think for me, it's like I like to treat people how I like to be treated. What I do understand about myself,
The thing is, I wouldn't mind if someone did that to me. I get it. I mean, get it.
And
that shouldn't surprise you about me.
It
don't. Like I'm just like, all right, I get it.
And I would say that's fine, or and that's fine and that's fair. As long as we can always take the things we dish, then that is absolutely okay.
That's what I'm saying. Don't dish something you can't take. But go ahead.
I would say That's fair. But like for me, like I don't mind the communication aspect of it because it's like I said, like life isn't black and white. And what I might look at as something that's like big or egregious, you maybe didn't see it like that. And there's a lot of miscommunication that happens with no communication. Like one person could think a thing or feel a certain way or whatever, and that's not even what's happening on one side. Like, for instance, like we've discussed this before, like I've had, I don't know what planets was in retrograde, but last year, like, wasn't it for me. Like, I was more on a, like a little bit more sad, a little bit more depressed. Now I know some of the reasons why I work, but I was a little bit on a down like I was down. And one thing I tried to do with people that I communicated with often is to let y'all know that. So it's like if I'm not as responsive as I used to be, if I'm not as joking, like if I'm not joking like I used to, if I don't, respond to your phone call or your text message, or if I'm short, you then know like, hey, she has communicated with me that she's not in the best mood. You don't then take it personal, like, why is Dania acting funny towards me? You already have a heads up of like, she already said like she not in the best mood, not in the best place. So anything that seems out of place, I'm not gonna put that on myself and be like, oh, like she acting funny towards me. It's more like, you know what, she got some stuff going on. Let me give her some space. And I think that communication helps, like in any type of relationship or any type of friendship, like because especially because you ghost, I feel like you would have took that. If I didn't communicate that, sometimes you'd probably be like, you try once or twice, but you might have been like, she acting funny, I don't got time for that. Like if you ain't gonna respond to me, I ain't gonna respond to you.
I don't think I would have done that because you have proven to me that like you care. You know what I'm saying? So I'd have been like, what's going on? Hello?
But
now, if you weren't willing to tell me,
that's what I was about to say.
Then I would just be like, I would still try. I would try more than I have in the past with you. I would. But that is fair. You did communicate with me, so that helps. But for me, it would have to be like I never heard from you again, like after I've tried. But let's say I also feel like, let's say I did that and once you were feeling better, if you reach out to me, I would listen to you. I wouldn't be, because some people I'm like, look at the phone and just let it ring. Like I'm gonna, no.
Like absolutely not.
But yeah. So I don't know.
But
I give people chances. It's not like I don't give people chances. It's just I have to think about the whole history. Like I have to think about the whole history of us being in a relationship. Like, nah, Dan wouldn't do that. So if you're calling me, I pick up the phone and listen to you. Yeah. But it would just depend on the history. Like, like if you tended to be flaky all the time, like you have nothing new to say. You really don't. I don't have time to hear you be flaky.
That's true.
I don't have time. So you build up your, I guess the word that's coming to me is equity in your relationships, or not your degree of reliability. That's what it is. And it's just like some people build it and some people never have it. So like when you mess up, maybe you mess up. And it's just like, I don't have time for this. I really don't. Like I've tried. But it makes me think about something you said a few days ago. And it kind of like made me feel bad. And I don't want you to feel bad. Because you said, you didn't make me feel bad. It made me feel like I wasn't like the best friend. I could be better. Because you said like, you don't remember you said like, you feel like you're on borrowed time with me.
Oh, I did say that. All right, I'm gonna stop saying that.
No. You don't have to stop saying it. But that just is like, what? You're not on borrowed time with me. Like, I love you. What are you talking about? But that made me have to check myself. I'm like, am I still giving off those, like, if you say one thing, you never gonna hear from me again? Am I giving those vibes? Oh my gosh, I gotta work on that because that's not how I feel at all. I don't feel like that.
I would say, to be fair, with me, no. However, because I'm the type of person that's gonna be like, girl, what's going on? I think our friendship and our relationship works like with our dynamic personalities. I think you can be more detached in certain areas, and I can be more like upfront. Like I've always been told, like I come on strong. Like when if I like it, I love it, and that's just the end. Like I'm
Okay.
here, I'm with it. So
Mhm.
I think the dynamic between us works in such a way that like even if I felt like you were being weird, for some reason I would be like, Lee, what, hello, what's going on? Like I feel like I've been thrown away. Like I wouldn't just allow you to throw me away. We'll have a conversation. Maybe you'd be like, girl, no, you gone in the trash. But we would have a conversation because I'm not gonna just sit there and allow it to happen. Now, I think it is definitely something that you've worked on. We've had communication, we've had conversation where you're trying to like work on it, but just knowing that like you can be like, yeah, that's it. I'm over it. I'm like, all right now.
Yeah.
Like I
No,
know
but
that you're
that's
that
not.
person. I know that you can be that person. Will you be that person to me? I
Mhm.
don't think so. I think our dynamic is really good and really strong. But so
Mhm.
for me, oh my gosh, I feel bad. I don't want you to feel like that because I don't
No, no, no. I
necessarily think that.
don't feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad because you have nothing to feel bad about. If anything, I should feel bad. And because I don't want you to feel like that. And I don't feel too bad, but I have to take what you said to me because I have to fix that somehow. Even if it's telling you, like, I just feel like you do not know that. So I'm officially telling you, like, you're not on borrowed time with me at all. Like,
Thank
at all
you.
are you on borrowed time with me. At all. Some people just need to hear that. So I don't know if you are people, but I'm just
Oh,
on the record saying you're not. But also like, and maybe in my actions as well. But I'm just trying to think overall, I don't want to be that person. Now, if it
mhm.
is like a situation where we just met each other, I still might be like it. Because like you said, I
Yeah.
am a detached person. Like I can be in my world, out my world. Like I'm a Gemini. Like I can do that. You know, I can
Mhm.
be all about me. But I can be
And I
social.
think
So,
And I think
and
that
people,
just speaks to like your sign. Like you're a Gemini and I'm a
yeah,
Scorpio. So it's like it's more
girl.
so that I feel like you could just be like, all right, whatever. Like, is it borrowed time? No.
Mhm.
I feel like we'll have the friendship, but I feel like you'll just be like, whatever, because that's just kind of what
Mhm.
y'all sign
Girl,
do. Like y'all
my
just be
own
like, all
mama,
right.
my own mama last month was like, that Gemini shit you do, I don't like it. Fix it right now. I don't like it. And I
Mhm.
think she's like, I'm at an age now where she can be real with me. Like, if you're gonna be with me, be with me. But if you're not, like, I don't want you at all. Like, cause that in and out you be doing, I don't like it.
You're
And I
right.
imagine people don't like it. It makes them feel bad. And I'm like, I have to be an evolved Gemini. You know, all of our
Yeah.
the bad traits of every sign. You can be your sign, but you can be an evolved version of
Evolve.
it. And so it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, I gotta work on that. I'm like, I'm doing my stuff again. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do it because I don't want to be like that. I don't.
Right.
So I gotta work on that. But I'm not even trying to do that with the people that I have in my life and future deeper relationships that I have. Like, I know, like, no, do not do that. Do not do that. Do not make people feel like they're expendable. Because
Right.
people are not replaceable. That's one thing the Panini taught me. People are not replaceable. Like literally they died. They died. People be like, oh, why isn't people working like at my old job? I'm like, because there's nobody to hire.
Right.
Like we all have to check ourselves and stop thinking that people are replaceable. They're not. Like, and I'm not saying stay in bad relationships, but you should give it your best.
Right.
You should give it your best because thinking that you're gonna find a better friend, like Polly Pocket's just in and out, like changes people, like that's not happening. It is not
True.
happening. It's not like you can get a new Barbie friend. You don't like this Barbie, let me get another one. No, you need to work with your people and they can be gone within a blink of an eye.
That's true.
So
Many things can happen.
like the people that you have in your life are gifts. You need to cherish those gifts.
That's true.
For real.
That's a word. Word of Big Bird. I love that.
So I wanted to talk about ghosting because I was like, let me tell these people, don't do like me. Be better than me. Be better.
Like,
and I don't ghost a lot. Yeah.
And I've always said, like, I do admire your capacity to choose yourself. To be like, something isn't working and therefore I must go. Because I feel like that's the thing that I struggle with. Like, I'm getting better at it, I think. But I think that's something that I struggle with, where it's like, because I like it, I love it. I try to hold on, even when it's like not necessarily making sense for me in my world anymore. And it's like, it's just to have that balance. And I think, in a way, like, our friendship, I know you like things that you do have rubbed off on me, and maybe some ways that I do things have rubbed off on you, and like we're definitely finding
They
that balance in
have.
our own friendship, and we can use it like out there in the world with other people, I think.
Yeah, because you definitely tell me like, Elise, what are you doing? Like, no. What, I can't do that? You be like, no, what are you doing?
Right.
You are out of order. Or
and then
if I'm
equally
not out
I'm
of order,
like
you be like, no, that's not the way to handle it.
and then equally I'm like, what would Lily do in this situation? Yeah, nah, they're playing with me.
Yeah.
Don't let them play with you.
Do not let them play with you because you're not the one or the two.
Or the
You not.
two. Okay.
You not. No.
So,
Yeah.
so
That's pretty much
yeah.
it. I think it's an interesting topic, and ghosting can be hurtful.
It can
and
be.
I wanted to delve into like you can maybe end something without ghosting them. There's nothing wrong with ending something if it no longer serves you or you're growing out of it. But as friends to each other, as friends in the world that we live in, ghosting,
you
I
can
would just say it's a
communicate
no-go.
it. Yeah, I feel like you can definitely communicate it. And as much as I say like I'll communicate, I can be blunt in my communication, so it may not always
You
be
can.
the best form of communication either, but I'm like, at least you know. Like at least you kind of know like where I'm coming from. But I definitely think like it's better to like kind of at least say like this is what it is and this is why it is what it is, as opposed to like someone kind of waking up one day and just being like, wait, what's going on? Like you didn't even give me a chance to explain myself, or you didn't give me a chance to express myself, because it may not be explaining to convert it. It might just be expressing to say like, I did this because you did that, you know, whatever the case may be. Because sometimes having that communication allows you to also see like, oh, maybe what I'm looking at as your action is a reaction to one of my actions, you know, like, and that gets lost once again in the non-communication. So I don't know. I think that's a good topic. That's the super good topic.
So what do y'all think? Like, is ghosting a valid response, or do you think that it could be handled a different way? Let us know on Honestly Friends Pod on Instagram, as well as comment below if you're watching us on YouTube, and we will see you next week. Later.
Bye, friends.
Gator. Bye.